Welcome everybody to the very first episode of Quality Time with Marco. Basically what it is, it's a question and answer show. Basically I sent out there to you guys on social media, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. Just to send me questions, and I do my very best to answer them. But yeah, pretty straightforward. But without further ado, let's get going to the first set of questions. The very first set of questions comes from Wes Gardner, aka Kami the Hobo. Shout out to you, Wes, out there. Ex-Twitch streamer, but now Power Hour creator with me, the co-host. So yeah, he sent in the very first 3 questions. So here's 3 questions for you. 1, who is your favorite comic book character and why? That is pretty easy because there's only one guy that I've been looking up to for like I don't know how many years. But my favorite comic book character is Colossus. He's part of the X-Men. He is like their strong guy, armored soldier type thing. Not soldier, but like armored protector. Their brick wall, basically. The reason why is because when the very first time I saw him, he was I want to say it was Nintendo's first X-Men game. And so he was, I think, in that time in their Australian Outback era arc. But yeah, I just saw this steel muscle dude, just looking all like big and buff and just Hulk Hogan-like in a sense. I guess with the pose he was like this for some reason. But yeah, I've always been into that protector role, that guy that will protect his friends from anything type thing. So like when I saw Colossus, just this dude with steel body form, I was like, "Who is that guy? Who is that? I like that guy already." So yeah, come to find out about his backstory and his powers and all that stuff, and I kind of, as a kid and kind of growing up, I kind of lived my life of like the qualities that he has, just cared for his friends, soft-spoken, gentle, but when necessary will get the job done, whatever he sees fit. But just a protector, So that's kind of how I kind of live my life. So that's the reason why he's my favorite comic book character. So yeah, there it is. Throwing it out to you, back to you, and out there, anybody watching. Who's your favorite comic book character and why? If you were to make a dream Suikoden revival, Suikoden is basically my favorite role-playing game. What developer minds / minds in the industry would you want on the team? That is a very good question, because you basically asking me what is my fantasy football team for my favorite role-playing game of all time. Thinking about it, the very first person that came to mind was Kojima. Reason why is because I just want, if this is like, if I'm picking people to make this game, I would want wacky ass Kojima storyline in my Suikoden game, which you kind of see that with Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, because the game mechanics of that is you're recruiting people into Mother Base, and that's kind of an aspect of what you do in the Suikoden series, because in the game role-playing in the Suikoden series, you're recruiting 108 characters, 108 people called the Stars of Destiny, and you're kind of doing that with Metal Gear Solid 5. Gameplay wise, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm going with the whole platinum route, maybe with Kamiya. But then again, it kind of might be a departure from what made Suikoden this great role-playing game. But maybe like an aspect of the game, because the game mechanic. Because with Suikoden, you have your main RPG battles, like your turn-based group battle, and then you have your war battles, and then your one-on-ones. So maybe that can have something working with Kamiya, with I guess what's a one-on-one type thing, or recently of like Transformers Devastation. Just that platinum style of it's this game, but oh no, you're in this section of the game. Now it's a totally different game. So I'm thinking more of like a wonderful one-on-one sense. So yeah, you got Kojima, you have Kamiya. What else? What else would I want to be in my game? That's still a very good question. Cause, excuse me. If it came to the one-on-one aspect, I would probably want. I'll probably want like Yoshinori Ono, like of Street Fighter V fame right now. Not even so much, or whoever's the battle director of like Street Fighter in the Street Fighter series, or Street Fighter V in particular, just for that one-on-one battle aspect. Because again, you have 108 characters. Why not? If you're having one-on-one battles, why not have that kind of fighting game mechanic? Or I would just love to see a Suikoden fighting game personally. That would be awesome. But yeah, so like that's probably the 3 minds I would like for my dream Suikoden game. Kojima for the story, Kamiya for the gameplay mechanics, so like switching out to different gameplay mechanics, and probably Ono for particularly the fighting game, the one-on-one fighting game mechanic. But yeah, that's a very good question, Wes. That's pretty awesome. Because I'll probably think about it more, and then I'll probably throw out names, more names eventually. So yeah, that's the second question. And then the final question from Wes Gardner is, what could the Yakuza series do to get a stronger following in the U.S.? That is also a very good question, because I just basically feel that just bring it out in the West, bring it out, more in the world, to, have people know what the Yakuza series is, because I feel like it's a very underrated series, and people are not knowing it to like the extent or to the pace of like all these other games. They get all this marketing, and yet Yakuza is just getting known by its word of mouth, which is pretty cool though, because it kind of gets like a cult following. Yeah, just release it everywhere. Release it more in the U.S. Release it, in Europe, in the UK and stuff like that. Excuse me. And yeah, like with people like with Sony, putting it in their lineup, that helps. Getting into a more wider audience, because that is a very, very, dude, it is really a very underrated series to this day right now. Because unless you're reading like the video game news websites, it's not getting pushed that much, especially right now before the release of Yakuza 5. It's not getting that much publicity. Like the latest article is saying, like, we've been waiting for the U.S. release of Yakuza 5, and it's the last article post was saying that Yakuza 5 is coming out middle of November, which is coming up in a few days in time of this like recording right now. So in the middle, that's what I'm excited for, is that it's coming out in the middle of November. Now that said, there are also 2 other games right now, maybe 3 at this point. That the Yakuza series still has that it has yet to come to the U.S. And that is Yakuza Ishin, I believe, which is the samurai, back in the day, had the Yakuza cast in that setting, and then I believe Yakuza 0, which is basically a prequel to Yakuza 1. So you're seeing like the very start of Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, and basically how they were brought up into the Yakuza world, and just see the dynamic of those, of like that adolescent attitude to what you see now, with the craziness of Majima and the calmness but strong and firmness of Kazuma Kiryu. So they need to bring that out in the U.S. and all over the world so people would know about it. But you would need companies like Sony and Sony or Microsoft, just to give them that kind of money to be able to spread that out to everywhere else. Because right now Sega, you don't even know what Sega is doing. Sega has been saying, yeah, we're just gonna stick with mobile games because they're letting go other people, and they may not have like the marketing budget for it, but if you get like people like from Sony or Microsoft, even Nintendo at this point, just to push your game, give you the funds to push your game to the wider audience, that just means it helps the Yakuza series right then and there. All right, and that's it for the set of questions from Wes Gardner, aka Kami the Hobo. You can reach Kami the Hobo at Kami the Hobo at Twitter, and also youtube.com/user KamiV, the number 2, and then he also has a Vimeo, which he's putting out more recent content there. Thank you, Kami the Hobo, for those questions, and on to the next set of questions, and then that'll probably wrap it up for this episode of Quality Time with Marco.